Hi guys, welcome. I'm Jana and it is Sydney Grace Sunday. This was created by my friend Bekah Jo, the makeup tax lady here on YouTube. I'm going to link all her information in the description box below. But it is the first Sunday of the month, which means we have a new BYOP. And since it is the month of Halloween, I thought it would be fun to come in and do a color story based on the first Halloween costume you remember wearing as a child. I'm chuckling because wait till you guys see my costume. I don't actually have it, but I'm going to be linking a picture in just a second. But I would definitely love to hear what costume you guys remember, like the first costume you guys ever remember wearing as a child, if you guys trick-or-treated. So my costume, my first costume that I ever remember wearing, I was probably like maybe 4 or 5. It was a very, very long time ago. And it was Superwoman. Oh yeah, I loved Superwoman, Charlie's Angels, and the Bionic Woman. Do you guys, if you're old enough, remember the Bionic Woman? I love that show. And like it was the sound effects for me, like she'd be on the ground and she'd jump to the roof. It was just iconic. It's iconic for me. I loved all those characters. So the first one I ever remember wearing, actually, is like the only costume I ever really remember wearing. I guess just because I loved that one so much. But can we just take a moment for the costume? I mean, I don't know how we made it through the night in these things. Like you had like little tiny peepholes for your eyes. Like you couldn't even see out of the sides of your eyes. You could only look forward. The mouth hole, you'd be walking around, you'd be getting hot. It was like a sauna up in there. And then I'd be taking my mask off every so often, to get some fresh air. And by the end of the evening, the nose was like all poked in. It was terrible, but it was such a good time back then. But as you can see from the picture, we are working with a lot of primary colors. Like, did I get in over my head on this one? We're going to find out. This is the color story I came up with. I actually went with, I used the mattes as the primary colors, and I decided to go in with this shade for the transition to work with hopefully all of the mattes. And then the shimmers that I picked, I chose so they would hopefully like bring the mattes together. And I'm going to go through them and I'm going to tell you what I picked. We're going to do swatches. We're going to do 2 eye looks, and then we'll talk about it a little bit at the end. And then on the last Sunday of the month, I'm going to come back in. We're going to use the BYOP again. And I'm going to go over and see, discuss what I might have changed, what I would have liked different, what I liked about it. And I think that's about it. I think we discussed everything. So let's get into it and see how these eye looks turn out. All right, we're gonna get into the swatches. After this, I'm gonna show you guys some swatches in different lights, and then we're gonna get into the eye look. The first shade is Snow White from Sydney Grace. And I think I'm gonna turn this light down just a little bit. Oh, much better, okay. And I did chose a purple because in the mask, you can see she has purple shadow on. So of course I had to, cannot not include the eyeshadow. So I chose Warm Scarves from Sydney Grace. I chose this one mainly to like, if I want to do like a red yellow look, to use this one in. And this one is, boy, the writing on here has gotten really bad. Frothy Surf. Okay, the surf part is like worn off, and I was trying to figure out what it is, but it's Frothy Surf from Davina. Such a beautiful shade. Next one is Midnight from Sydney Grace. Now, when I chose this shadow, I was going more for like a primary yellow, but then when I was kind of looking at the mask, it looked almost like it was like yellow neon, almost borderline green. So this is from Adept. It's from the Arrow palette, and it's called Cyrus Vanch. The next shade is from Enzy Rain, the Glow palette, and it's Divine. For the red, I do not have a lot of reds in my collection, especially ones that are magnetic. So I went with Unearthly. This is the Resurgence palette in collab with Heather Austin, and it is Ancient. I was lucky to find a primary red that was magnetic in my collection. The next one is Nerds from Davina, and I chose this one to bring the mats together, but also in the outfit, it has like a navy blue, and then it also has like kind of a lighter blue. So that's also why I chose this one instead of bringing in another matte like that. I just decided to choose a shimmer. A shimmer that has become a very quick top favorite in my collection. It is Elven Forest from Ensley Ray. Then I went with Indiana Love from Sydney Grace for the navy blue. I think these two would look so pretty together too. The next shimmer is Butter Pucker from Davina. And I chose this one to go for like an inner corner. I'm starting to learn, guys. I'm starting to learn. So I wanted to go for an inner corner that would go with every shimmer. So I'm hoping this works. And the last shade is My Savior Light from Sydney Grace. And I chose this one for a transition in hopes that it goes with all of the shades. So we will find out by the end of the month. This is another one I have used so many times since I got it. I know I say this all the time. I picked it up in July for the Christmas in July sale, and I absolutely love it. I've used it so many times in so many dupe palettes. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put up swatches in different lights for you, and now we're going to get on to the looks. All right, I got the Ripper 27, and we're going to start in with the transition. I like kind of think I know what I'm gonna do, but then also at the same time, like maybe I should just change it up a little. I guess should kind of go with what I have planned, but if it's not feeling the way I want it to, I might change it up a little bit. All right, the same brush. Now I'm gonna go into this yellow. Yeah, he's always had such fond memories around Halloween, trick or treating with my cousins, and going, picking out a costume at the store. So, did you guys trick or treat? What was your favorite costume you ever remember? I remember, gosh, my husband and I were living in an apartment, and this was when we were still young and still went out and had a good time. And all of our friends came over for Halloween, and we all were going to dress up. And in the town, they had like this little area where people would get together, young people and that, and everybody was all dressed up. And I got us costumes that were like it was like a little old lady and a little man, and the mask. This was my gosh, must have been in like the late '90s, so like the costumes weren't like that great, but the masks were like I can't say they looked real, but it was just like plastic and like had the wrinkles. And I remember my grandmother, she always would keep like everything. So she had like a cane and a walker. So I borrowed them, and I used the walker, and my husband used the cane, and it was just like our friends loved it. They thought it was so cool. The Halloween costume, it was so fun. All right, now I have the Cindy Grace E13, and I'm going to tap into the red. I don't want it to get too carried away, so that's why I'm going in with a smaller brush. I'm really hoping all these shades go together. It does kind of look like the costume with that yellow and the red together. All right, it's going to come back in with a little bit of the yellow. And I kind of wanted to come up here so when I put the shimmers, it's still peeking through. All right, I like the way this is looking so far, but it's just not quite deep enough for me on the outer corner. So I'm going to go into the red, and then I'm just going to a little tiny bit into the black. I don't want too much. And I'm just going to kind of tap slowly so I can add more, but it's hard to take it away. I'm heavily concentrating right now. All right, and then when I have a little on my brush, I'm just going to bring it down here, the corner. Now I've tapped in just to the red again because I want to bring some of that back. And then again back in with the yellow. Just bringing it back and then blending all the edges out. All right, I'm going to go with the River 28. I'm going to tap into the yellow. And I'm just going to bring it right here. Another River 02 into the transition. Okay, this is where I cannot decide. I'm probably going to come in and add in a little bit more yellow, but I want to go into the shimmers. And I was originally thinking about this one, which I think will go really, really well. But then I was kind of looking at this one. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Oh, okay. I think we're going to go with like these right here. I'm going to start with this one, and then I'm probably going to add this one. I'm going to save this one for another look, maybe tomorrow. Because tomorrow I want to come in, like, I think with the blues and the purples, maybe some yellow. All right, but we are definitely going to start off with this one. Oh, wow. The way that goes with the red and the yellow. I would never have paired these together. I just ended up putting it over the entire lid because I love that so much. Oh my goodness. I'm going to come back in and blend the matte some more. Oh, wow. See, I didn't even think about that one until I saw it. All right, and then should I go in with this one? That's the one I pretty much picked for the inner corner for everything. I don't know. This one might be a little too opaque for the inner. Oh, I don't know. You know, I think I am. I'm going to try this one. I'm just going to shear it out between two fingers and let's see how it looks. Oh, okay. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh man, I am starting to feel like Wonder Woman. Wow. All right, but I am going to come back in because I don't know why that shimmer up over the yellow, I just feel like it made the red look a little too harsh. So I'm going to come in and blend it out a little bit more. So start in with a little bit of the red. Yeah, it feels better. I don't know if it feels better, but it looks a little better. I think this would look so cool too, like with an orange in between the shimmer and the red. All right, now I'm going to blend the outer edge. So I'm going to come in with the Cindy Grace E04 to the yellow. Bring some of that yellow back in there too. All right, and then I'm just going to bring in some more of that yellow down here. I am so excited. I am so excited with the way this turned out. You guys, that red, it had me scared. I'm not going to lie. I was not too sure about it when we got started, but I'm like so happy with this eye look. I just can't wait to see it when it's finished. But let's get some blush. For blush, I'm going to go in with the Distorted Dreams palette from Underland. I'm going to a big fluffy brush, and we're just going to tap a little bit into the darker one. Oh, much better. Okay, let's stop. I always say that's good, and then I just keep going. All right, I'm gonna go in just a little bit just with this side. All right, I'm gonna go in with the Spring Magic Blush Palette from Unearthly. And I'm gonna try this Color Pop F4. And I'm gonna go with Balefire. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna see. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish this look up, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is the finished look. I love this. I love this. It turned out so much better than could even ever hope for. I have to say, the star of the show is Elven Forest. If you love this shimmer, I highly, highly recommend it. It is, again, it's Elven Forest, the single from Enzy Rain. If you guys could get this on sale, chef's kiss. I've used this in so many BYOPs. It is probably my top favorite fall shade now in my collection. I will say that if you guys have the Whispering Woods palette, which this single is the collection that it goes with, it does remind me, what is this one called? Mystic Mushy. Mystic Mushy. It does remind me of this one. So this is Mystic Mushy. This one is just a bit more pink. This is Elven Forest. And then this one just has more like of those more red tones in it. It's gorgeous. I am so happy I have this in my collection. You can see this one is like a bit more of them, like a medium green, and then this one has like a little bit of like yellowish green in. Oh wow, there we go. Okay. It's stunning. It's stunning. Highly recommend. All right, let me tell you what I finished off with. For the outer corner eye, I went in with Plum from Persona. For the rest of the lower lash line, I went in with Yellow from Moya Cosmetics. For the liner, I went in with Cafe from Unearthly. Then I went in with Salem from Cosmic Beauty. And then I topped it with Michelle from Sydney Grace. For palettes to get a similar look from, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't have a whole lot of red in my collection. This look has actually changed my my perception on red. I love this so much. This actually kind of reminds me like a summer to fall look, and I think I'm about to start incorporating more red for summer to fall looks. I think that would be really fun. But I do have a few suggestions. I think the palette where you could get the most similar look like this, at least for my collection, is the Underland palette from NC Rain. It doesn't have like that chartreuse yellow, but it does have like this green, and then it has that beautiful like reddish burgundy. You could even deepen it up a little bit. And then I would probably go in with like Surreal. I think that would be like the closest shade out of the palette. But there's so many beautiful shimmers in this palette. It's just gorgeous. These two right here, the red, I love this one, is Resurgence from Unearthly. This was the Heather Austin collab. And this is actually what I took the red out of. So you have like this, it's not quite chartreuse. It's a neon green, but you could just go in like with a light hand. I would just start at the bottom and then work up. And then you can go with the red. You got a black to deepen it up with. And then for shimmer out of this palette, I would probably like go in with this one. And then I would probably like top it with that one. And probably use that in the inner corner too. Then I have Christmas Town from Melt. This one's pretty good. You have like this chartreuse, and then you have this red, and then I would go in with this one to deepen it up. It doesn't really have like a shimmer, but it does have like the yellow that you could use. And then you can just pop into any shimmer in your collection. And then the other option that I would recommend would be like, this is blends from Blend Bunny. If you just have like basically something like this, you could go in with like the yellow, the red, and then you could just choose any type of different shimmer or different matte to deepen it up with, and then just reach into a shimmer from your collection. All right, I'm so happy with the way this look turned out. Let's go on to the next one and see how it turns out. All right, I think I'm going to go in with the purple and the blue. And I think I'll bring in some of this yellow because I think I'm going to go in with this shade today. Okay, I just saw my mic wasn't working, so hopefully it was working when I told you, but if not, I'm going in with the Cindy Grace EO3 into the yellow. All right, for blush, I'm going to go into the Blend Bunny Bare Cheeks palette. And I'm going to tap in with a really big fluffy brush into Stripped. And then just into just a touch. I'm going to go into the Spring Magic Blush palette. I'm going to go into Pendulum. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this look up and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is the final look. I love how this turned out. I love the contrast between the purple and that yellowish blue shift. Okay, let me tell you guys what I finished off with. For the lower lash line, I went in with Ultra from Moya Cosmetics. For lip liner, I went in with Cafe from Unearthly and blended it out with Khaki, also from Unearthly. I went in with Ash from Unearthly, mixed it with Morning from Unearthly, and then right in the center, I went in with Clarice from Cosmic Beauty. Now for palette comparison, so if you guys want to get like a similar look, I was thinking at first, oh, I think I have like a couple. I have a stack. I have a ton of Inslee Rain also. So I'm actually going to start out with Unearthly's Not Normal. We have like a yellow right here, and then we have like these purples. You can deepen it up a little bit with that one, and then you have like so many to choose from. I think this would be the closest, but this one, that one, I think they would all be so really pretty. Next one is Basic Witch from Bella Beauty Bar. You have like this orange or green to go with, and then you have these purples to use, and then this would probably be this one is so beautiful. This is my favorite shade out of the palette. All right, and the next are just
from Inslee Rain.
I have Hedgehog. You got this yellow right here, this purple for the outer corner, and then I would probably go in with this one. It won't be an exact match, but it'd be pretty close. The next one is Flourish, and then you have like this yellow or this green, and then you have this beautiful color. I can't remember what this one is because I have it in a dupe palette, so I'm not really sure which one that one is. But you could easily deepen it up with this shade, and then I'd probably go in with the yellow or this shade, or maybe go in with this one and then top it with that one. That one might be really pretty. Next one is Underland. And I would just go in with this green. You have this purple to deepen it up with, and then for the shimmer, so many choices. This would probably be the closest one, but it's going to be a bit more deep. So you could always like put one of these over it or just go in with one of these. I think I would just go in with this one. Next one is Whispering Woods. You have this green right here, which is really close. And then you have this purple and then this purple. And then for the shimmer, I'd probably go in like with like this one. I think that would be pretty close. Twisted Tea Party. You have this green or this yellow, and then you have these purples right here. You could deepen it up with a black, and then I would probably go in with one of these shimmers. Light in Your Eyes palette. This one surprised me. But you got the yellow, and then you have these purples to deepen it up with, and then oh gosh, this shimmer. There's good shimmers. This shimmer would be perfect. This shimmer would be pretty. But wait, there's more. Strawberry Moon. You have either one of these yellows, and then you could go in like with these purples and then deepen it up with this one. And then you have any of these shimmers to choose from. And Flower Moon. You have this yellow right here, and then you have this one to deepen it up with. You can even use this one also to kind of go in where the purple was at. And then I think any of these green ones, even that one would be so pretty. So my thoughts on this palette so far, the only word that I can think of is shocked. I am shocked at how much I am actually enjoying this palette. I came in here thinking like with dread, like what looks am I going to do? What are they going to look like? But I am just honestly having so much fun with this palette. I loved both looks, and I cannot wait to play with it again. So I'm pleasantly surprised. All right, guys, I think I've covered everything. Next video that should be coming up is You Pick My Palette Fall Edition. I have a ton of palettes I have a stack of palettes to go through over here. So that's probably going to be the next video. And again, I would love to hear what your first costume was that you remember wearing. And I hope to see you guys again in the next video. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.